lots of cute puppies. I'll just show you one little picture here, just kind of give you an overview that you can see, okay? You got two little cute little Cocker Spaniels there, okay? You will know precisely what this little girl is talking about at the end. You want to share this with one of your loved ones and special friends. Danielle keeps repeating it over and over again. We've been back to this animal shelter at least 5 times. It has been weeks now since we started all of this, the mother told the volunteer. What is it she keeps asking for? The volunteer asked. Puppy size, replied the mother. Well, we have plenty of puppies, if that's what she's looking for. I know, we've seen most of them, said the mom in frustration. Just then, Danielle came walking in the office. Well, did you find one? Asked her mom. No, not this time, Danielle said with sadness in her voice. Can we come back next weekend? The two women looked at each other and shook their heads and laughed. You never know when we will get more dogs. Unfortunately, there's always a supply, the volunteer said. Danielle took her mother by the hand and headed toward the door. Don't worry, I'll find one this weekend, she said. Over the next few days, both Mom and Dad had long conversations with her. They both felt that she was being too particular. It's this weekend or we're not looking anymore, Dad finally said in frustration. We don't want to hear anything about puppy size either, Mom added. Sure enough, they were the first ones in the shelter on Saturday morning. By now, Danielle knew her way around, so she ran right for the section that housed the smaller dogs. Tired of the routine, Mom sat in a small waiting area at the end of the first row of cages. There was an observation window so you could see the animals during times when visitors weren't permitted. Danielle walked slowly from cage to cage, kneeling periodically to take a closer look. One by one, the dogs were brought out, and she held each one. One by one, she said, "Sorry, but you're not the one." It was the last cage on the last day in search of the perfect pup. The volunteer opened the cage door, and the child carefully picked up the dog and held it closely. This time she took a little longer. "Mom, that's it. I found the right puppy. He's the one. I know it," she screamed with joy. "It's the puppy size." "But it's the same size as all the other puppies we held over the last few weeks," Mom said. "No, not size, S-I-Z-E. The size, S-I-G-H-S. When I held him in my arms, he sighed," she said. "Don't you remember when I asked you one day what love is? You told me love depends on the size of your heart. The more you love, the bigger the sigh." The two women looked at each other for a moment. Mom didn't know whether to laugh or cry. As she stooped down and hugged the child, she did a little bit of both. "Mom, every time you hold me, I sigh. When you and Daddy come home from work and hug each other, you both sigh. I knew I would find the right puppy if it sighed when I held it in my arms," she said. Then holding the puppy close to her face, she said, "Mom, he loves me. I heard the size of his heart." Close your eyes for a moment and think about love that makes you sigh. I not only find it in the arms of my loved ones, but in the caresses of the sunset, the kiss of the moonlight, and the gentle brush of the cool air on a hot day. They are the size of God. Take the time to stop and listen. You will be surprised at what you hear. Life is not measured by the breaths we take away, but by the moments that take our breath away. I hope your life is filled with sighs. Appreciate every single thing you have, especially your family and friends. Life is too short, and friends are too few. Life is too short to wake up with regrets. Love the people who treat you right and forget about the ones who don't. Last night, many of you were at the Cookies Memorial by the lake. As I walked near the crowd of people that were there for Cookie, my heart was overwhelmed with joy that he brought to so many people. A sigh. I know he was loved by many, and many shared wonderful memories that they had about him. Cookie's mom, Lisa, was also looking for some signs at Ricky's transition from this earth to the next life. How fitting that this memorial was by the lake. She felt the ancestors were guiding Cookie's home. The water representing the cleansing, the lit candles representing the light so he could cross over. Then later, Lisa read a passage from the Bible that talked about the signs that God gives us. Lisa, Cookie's mom, truly believes that Ricky is okay, watching over us. He is at peace. To those of you who had received a text message from Cookie, it's time for you all to heal too. None of you are at fault. Cookie had made up his own mind. But let's learn from this and know that we are never alone. You always have someone to talk to, whether it's a friend, a stranger, or an adult. But please talk to an adult. Seek one out as soon as possible. We as adults would rather deal with the situation than with the consequence. Stop, think, and then react. The gift of time we cherish. The gift of life goes fast. The gift of love will never end as long as memories last. Ricky will always remember you. Will always remember your beautiful, precious, big smile. Will always cherish your friendship and love. Will always keep you in our hearts, and you will know we'll be in your hearts forever. Peace be with you, mijo, and to all of you who knew him. May the Lord continue to shine his light upon you, Richard Blas Wilson, Cookie, Ricky, and to all of you. And I believe it was best said last night. I hope I have the young man's name right. I think his name was Jake. He was a transfer student who went to High School of the Arts and only had been there for a month. Thanks, Jake. It was beautiful. But I want to share what he had said. He said, we may have lost the cookie, but we'll always have the crumbs. And look at all the crumbs that he's hit. All of us have a piece of cookie. God bless you all, and thank you. And now we'll have the obituary that will be read by Teju.
Richard Blythe Wilson was born October 15th. October 15th, 1992, to Lisa J. Cook and Richard K. Wilson in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Richard Blythe Wilson received his formal education at Milwaukee High School of the Arts in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. He furthered his education with a major in theater production. Richard Blythe Wilson believed in God. He believed people should be naturally kind to each other. Richard enjoyed music, theater, and history. Ricky was very musically inclined. He taught himself how to play the guitar and wrote